Another whirlwind day for the incoming Trump administration. Just hours after former Congressman Matt Gaetz withdrew as the president-elect's pick for Attorney General, Trump selected a new nominee, former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. Bondi is a longtime Trump ally and was one of his attorneys during his first impeachment trial. If approved, Bondi will lead the Department of Justice, which is currently negotiating with Minneapolis over mandatory police reform. But we know the Trump administration blocked a federal consent decree in Chicago during his first term. Ben Henry is here with what could be ahead in Minneapolis and the reform already happening. Ben.
Yeah, a lot of work. The consent decree is one of the most aggressive steps the Department of Justice can take. It would put the city of Minneapolis and police department under federal oversight to ensure the reform that the two parties agree on gets done. But President-elect Donald Trump has blocked this kind of action before, and a former DOJ deputy chief knows that well.
I've been working for over 20 years in the area of police practices.
Emily Gunston knows federal consent decrees well.
Ones that I was most significantly involved in were New Orleans, Cleveland, and Chicago.
Spending nearly a decade in the Department of Justice, Gunston says she was helping finalize Chicago's consent decree as President Donald Trump's first term began.
When President Trump came in, he shut the whole thing down. And I think folks should expect that that's exactly what President Trump will do in his second term with regard to Minneapolis.
The Justice Department has opened a civil investigation.
Following the murder of George Floyd, DOJ investigators say the MPD and city of Minneapolis engaged in a pattern or practice of conduct in violation of the U.S. Constitution and federal law. Months in the making now, the city is negotiating with the DOJ to finalize a federal consent decree.
Because a court is not yet involved, President Trump, the Trump administration, and new attorney general could just decide that this is not a case that they are pursuing.
In a statement, the Minneapolis attorney says they're prioritizing negotiation and that their commitment to reforming policing doesn't change based on who's president. Adding, reform is already underway through a court-enforceable settlement agreement with the State Department of Human Rights. Their separate investigation found race discrimination in violation of the Minnesota Human Rights Act. But the DOJ's findings go beyond that of the state, saying MPD also violated People's First Amendment and discriminated against people with behavioral health disabilities when responding to calls. Both violations of federal law.
The findings that the Department of Justice made, it could be that they had additional evidence on some areas of the law that perhaps the state investigators weren't able to acquire that evidence or didn't make those same findings.
And Gunston says if the federal consent decree were not to take effect, the reform may not go as far. The Minnesota Department of Human Rights told us their agreement provides the framework for lawful, non-discriminatory policing. MPD Chief Brian O'Hara said in part, no matter what happens with the DOJ consent decree, the state settlement addresses major topics, including implicit bias. Lindsay, Minneapolis is spending more than $15 million this year to manage both the federal and state agreements, with another $13 million set for next year.
And we can find out what happens with that money depending on what happens with this. Thank you so much.